The score is tied here at the GSTL. FXO up against the Prime team. We are in the last game of the day. It is once again a Zerg versus Terran. The Zerg player for Team FXO starting at the bottom left of the map for his team. It is
FXO Lino.
FXO Lino.
One game away.
Yeah. Defeating Maru, defeating Tyrius, defeating Björn. Now he's up against his fourth opponent. Starting to the top right, cross position on Whirlwind. It is
Marine King, fly!
The Marine Prince failed. The Marine King is in the booth, ready to save the day. Can he do it?
Now, look at those stats for Marine King. Several of those stats, in fact, all of those stats on screen are runner-up stats.
Yeah, the King of Kongs.
Yeah, he is number 2. Based on the queue here on the command center, we're going to see command center first.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, hatch first on Whirlwind.
Marine King with his trademark opening against Zerg. He doesn't care what you do if he goes for 14cc. If you're going to 6-pull him, if you're going to 7-pull him, he's going to hold it. That's a lesson that Suishin had to learn. Yeah. Suishin just tried to pull it off on Ohana, and then suddenly he realized the Terran buildings actually can fly. And he's like, uh-oh. But well, Linog on the other hand, what is he going to do? He starts off with a 15 hatch and then just goes for a few additional drones. On a map like this, you can definitely play a little bit more greedy. We don't have a drone scout for him. He's only relying on the overlords and is dropping gas before pool. Kind of what you would expect on Whirlwind.
Yeah, and it's going to work out really well with him for this build. Will Marine King go for a 3rd CC before gas? That's something he's shown in the past as well. We've seen it a lot on this map.
The thing is, well, if Linog wins this against Marine King, it's not really a reverse all-kill, but it would be impressive nonetheless, taking down 4 players when your team is really in dire straits and needs you.
Tyr was able to get that one win, so it's not an all-kill quite, but it certainly feels like one with the streak that he has gone through so far.
He had a really important role in this team match. Taking down Creator was an important step, and Linog now is exactly what his team expected him to be. He is the last hope. He is the one player that seems to be able to defeat the entire Prime team. And Marine King is certainly under a lot of pressure here. That's a situation that he's probably really well adjusted to by now. It's not the first time.
And Linog checked with that drone, made sure there were no proxies. No gas here. Looks like he is going to go for the fast 3cc build. He'll drop it probably right on the left side of his base so he can float it to the 3rd later.
Yeah, just builds the 3rd CC.
This is making me feel mech even more. When you go mech, you want 3 bases up, then you max. You can also pressure a little bit with Hellions, and sometimes you can move out on the map if you get an advantage early on. But 3 bases is what you want, and Marine King is taking the fastest path. He's going as the crow flies.
The one thing for Linog is that in Busan actually he wanted to play, but Gumiho defeated Slayer single-handedly in the finals of the last GSTL. So now Linog does not want to... he doesn't want this run to end for FXO and GSTL. He definitely wants to advance. And the Prime team is suddenly in a situation where they are 1 game away from being eliminated. Which is definitely not what they expected when things started off with Creator taking 3 wins.
Oh man, this is the build. He's doing it. He does the 4 barracks wall with his 3rd command center. Makes Marines, throws people off a lot. He's going triple gas at once.
He certainly has the minerals to go for all this. So right now as a Zerg player, you don't really know what exactly is coming. Of course, it looks like you are going to face Bio, but you don't really know for sure what your opponent is going to build behind this wall.
Yeah, the only way to know is to keep checking to see if the barracks are still making. It's a great wall to make it very safe. And then it takes his own 3rd, but it's pretty late, actually, all things considered.
I love that Linog is getting these additional queens to spread his creep faster. He is really committing to the creep spread. A lot of energy, a lot of creep tumors on the map right now. It's a huge map. You want to connect the 3 bases. You want to push it out. You can't just make sure that your opponent advancing your base is a lot slower. And well, at this point right now, Marine King is actually dropping the 1st tech lab. It's actually a build that Marine... Do you remember the times when we had like Belcher Beach and Marine King against Linog? used this build where he mixed mech with bio.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was so epic, and he completely caught Linog off guard, and everyone was like looking at it, was like, wow.
He's done this. I remember he did this once. I think it was against Fruit Dealer, in fact, on Terminus Re back in the day. Yeah, but he's going for eBay upgrades. This is not what I expected. With the way he'd opened and the way he's shown this in the past, I really, as soon as I saw that Barracks wall, I just thought immediately, okay, it's going to be back. But that's part of the beauty of this build, because as Linog right now, you're like, well, is he going back? When you see the tech lab and you see Stim being researched, that's when you know. So now he knows, but it is a little bit scary. Linog is getting a ton of upgrades out himself. He's added the extra gases, and we are probably going to be in for a really long game here.
And now we have the extra hedge he's going for a macro hedge. This was one of the problems that Linog kind of had in the last few games, that he had a good economy, but at the same time his lava micro was not the best. It wasn't bad, but he was always a little bit behind with his lava, and he was like, okay, I have the money, but I just can't build anything.
Yeah.
And look at him going for Lair right now, going for the extra gas, getting all these upgrades, really macroing it up, these tumors that he has everywhere, trying to spread creep as fast as possible. The only thing that I'm missing is a bit of a better Overlord spread, so that he knows when there's going to be some kind of drop.
Yeah, the whole edges of this base are really exposed. It looks a little bit, he looks a little bit blind, besides the Overlords and links he's got right next to the base. The creep is nice, but it's not, I mean, he's not going to fly a drop directionally like that.
What I like about Marine King here is that he is really dead on with the timings. His armory is on its way right as +1/+1 is going to finish. With a double tech lab that he has at his barracks, he can go for Stim and Combat Shield at the same time. This is a pretty strong Bioforce that he's controlling now. And this helps him to defend this third base that he wants to get a little bit faster than other Terrans do right now.
Yeah, you're very right.
Also, those Marauders are pretty cool, because now, even if they are Banelings, if they are Roaches, whatever comes his way, he has a good composition to deal with it.
I think Marine King, though, you know what's funny about this type of build is on a map like this, a lot of the rules that you have that have been developed for years and years in this matchup are kind of thrown out the window, because you have a map where normally on a map like Ohana, if Linog was able to spread his creep like that, it'd be at Marine King's natural practically by now. But on this map, everything is different. Marine King can... How many tubers do we have on this map? I don't even want to count them, but Marine King can actually walk around that, essentially, to the south if he wants to. So the ways that you can be aggressive with Bio on this map are so different.
Talking about being aggressive, Linog is going for the Spire here with a lot of Zerglings being built, +2/+2 queued up, going for Baneling speed. So this is once again this really heavy mid game with building Baneling.
There are a lot of Marauders coming out for Marine King. He has 10 of them already. He's making 3 at a time when he wants, all 3 barracks pumping them. This is not your normal push that we're going to see right now.
Marine King has so many barracks. His production is crazy good, and he's moving out. He wants to make this happen with the army that he has, and this army is really scary. Both of them are roughly at the same army supply, and here come these run-bys that are so good on this map. Life has showcased it against Mech, against MVP, against Tasia on this map, and Linog is doing the same thing.
Yeah. This forces him to come back. He's even going to have to keep scanning to these lanes. It's very annoying.
Upgrades for both of them are roughly the same, but Linog with his creep can really fight extremely well against Bioforces. And he's just not stopping. He's spreading creep everywhere.
Mutas have been spotted by the factory, and he runs in here again. There's a lot of Marauders here, so Linog can't really fight this directly. The medevac count is getting scarier and scarier as well. Both players are going to be on 2-2 when the battle occurs, but for a few seconds, Marine King will have an upgrade advantage. Just about 20 or 30 in-game seconds.
It's just so scary for him to move out at this point, because he knows that there is a speed advantage for the Zerg on creep. He has to drop so many scans to make this work. The Mutalisks are not trying to head the economy. He's using the Zerglings to make sure that these SCVs won't have a great time here, mining at the third base. But at the same time, he needs to defend his own bases, and there are the Banelings. He needs to make sure that they're not running into the Marauders, though.
Oh, this is a great engagement for Linog. He just crushes it. Plus, the third base is in trouble, and the FXOpen bench is going crazy right now.
Half of the players are standing as we speak. Linog in a good position here, spreading creep once again. 26 Zerglings are being built. The upgrades for the Zerglings and the Marines are exactly the same, +2/+2 for both of them. There are more Mutalisks being built, and Marine King Prime is pressured hard by Linog.
He's actually trying to pull back here. He doesn't have much area to run with. A nice attempt here by Leonok, but the scan reveals it. But every scan used right now is so much economy lost while he's got his command center lifted.
Talking about economy lost, he can't mine from his third base, and Leonok is now in a position where he can easily get a fourth if he wants to. He's getting more links, more banelings. He wants to go for the infestation bit that he gets right now. Prepares for a late game where he knows exactly that as it is, he can pressure Marine King more and more, especially with the banelings that he's about to finish.
Yeah, the banelings are done, and he's ready to roll in here. Marine King is in so much trouble. He needs something really, he needs to take like an engagement. He needs Leonok to accidentally fly all his views over a bunch of Marines to be able to come back in this game. And Leonok doesn't look like he's going to give him any chance. He stims, Leonok avoids, he comes in the maze, he's going to take out a reactor. He may get 2 reactors if he wants it.
Yeah, he uses the terrain of the map perfectly. There's only 1 missile turret, and that's not going to scare him. He takes down SCVs, he kills supply depots, he forces Marine King to stim his units to run from the third into the main. +3/+3 now for the Prime player, but he is in dire straits here. Leonok makes him move, and he's right now he's a little bit like a puppet.
Yeah, that's a great metaphor, man. I love that because that's essentially what he's doing. Strings pull him over to the main base. He runs in, he leaves, he forces the stim, he gets out. He's supply blocked Marine King multiple times right now.
He's forcing the army out of position, and now the rest of the units for Leonok are just running into the natural. There's so many Zerglings and also, of course, the Banelings taking down SCVs, killing the entire worker supply of Marine King. This is brutal.
And Marine King is now down 20 Harvesters. Leonok is playing this very Harvester light, but he did take that extra hatchery to the south, so he's got a lot of extra production there. He could re-drone while he's keeping his opponent focused. He's starting the Infestor production now as well. It's going to line up with Pats and Glens. He's actually going to fight these weakened Marines. They're so low on health. He takes him out.
This is just the result of Leonok the entire time forcing stim after stim after stim. These Marines didn't have any hit points left, and he identified this, moved in. Now he has to kind of defend against this attack, but with the time that he has, he will be able to prepare. He's getting more Banelings, he's getting more infestors, he's moving in as it is. He detonates the Banelings and the Marines, and Marine King, well, he is running out of units.
He is running out of units, he's running out fast, he's streaming across the map still. He wants to keep that map presence up, but his opponent doubles his supply. Mews are going to take out his third command center. There's no answer, there's no lift even.
Oh god, Marine King is definitely all in here, and he just doesn't have the numbers. He's trying to defend against this, but now the infestors are also part of the composition.
He grabs those medevacs and bungles
Look
them.
at the picture at the bottom right. Marine King knows this is essentially over. If not for a miracle, he's going to lose this game. 166 supply for Leonok. Marine King down to 70. +3/+3 is going to finish, but what good does these upgrades do?
What good does it do when you've only got 12 Marines and 6 Mars on the field? This is going to be it for Marine King, and not only that, his team, he has failed them yet again here, trying to get back into a corner, but there's no space to work with. The Infestors march forward. He's down to 57 supply. He lost his orbital. He's got nothing to fall back on here.
And here comes Leonok. He's trying to finish this game. Marine King is on the ropes. He's down for the count, and Leonok wants to finish this quickly. He drops the Infested Terrans. He uses the Zerglings to diminish the Harvester count. Marine King down to 40 supply, and this is game.
This is game indeed. I'm not talking about the website. I'm talking about Marine King being out. GG!
Leonok has done it. He takes down the 4th player. Prime is out of the GSTL. FXO advances. They had a bad start into this match, but then it was time for Leonok.
No. And this is the real story. You know, FXOpen wins today. It's a team effort. The decisions they led to. That's something that there really is something to be said about the map choices, because every time it comes down to Leonok at the end, it's always like the other team has to work with these maps they don't like. It's kind of a little bit awkward. And Leonok actually had another Boyu Jacket up his sleeve, and this is a lucky foreign fan who can come to Korea and get that. That is awesome. But, you know, the map choices that were left for Prime were a little bit unfortunate, and it's because of the way that the FXOpen team orchestrated the map picks all throughout this, even while being behind. Really excellently done. It was actually just art how Leonok controlled it. You know, there's one thing to say about Leonok is that he's got so many different styles, and he can show them consistently the same.
I love
he did
the
today,
Mutalisk play that he showcased on Ohana. It was really well done. And it was just so difficult for, especially because of the maps, for the Prime Terran players to do something about his style. So Marine King, he had like one attack that looked for a second a little bit scary, but in the entire rest of the game there was just no pressure that Marine King could really execute, and Linux dominated him with a Mutalisk, forced him back, forced him to defend. The circling run-bys just everywhere, and the creep spread gave him the time that he needed to prepare for every attack. He had like an early detection when Marine King was moving out. He could prepare with Banelings, could morph in a couple of Infestors. He was ready every time.
Every time. There was nothing that escaped his notice. What a great Team League match we just
Yeah, crazy a little bit.
we went all the way to the end.
Yeah, Creator going for a 3-0 very quick. And then Tier with this one important win before it was time for the Linux show.
Yeah, I really want to see what he has to say. We're going to have a quick interview very soon here. I want to see what he and Shoya have to say about some of the picks maybe. You know, obviously we don't get to pick the questions as to what they get asked, but Linux is definitely going to be MVP today. I think that would be absurd if he was not.
Yeah, that's for sure. He has 4 kills and he also won the last match, so that's definitely securing him the position of being the MVP. Creator must be a little bit disappointed here, taking 3 wins and then your team still loses. Like,
I try my best, guys. Maybe I shouldn't have gone for that early pressure build on the PvP.
Yeah, against Tier on Entombed Valley.
Well, let's take a look at the results, guys, so you can refresh yourselves on how we got here today. Starting things off with Creator's 3-0 lead. You can look at it behind us, in fact, on the screen over there.
Yeah, not on screen just yet.
And you can also see Gumiho standing up. He was not able to take the first win. There is actually our schedule.
Yeah, the schedule. We have, of course, now LGIM coming up against MVP tomorrow.
Don't miss it. MVP coming through, defeating Slayers in their last match, so IAM does not get a bye.
And IAM, they have to redeem themselves. They were all killed by Startail, they were all killed by Parting, and therefore they, of course, want to make up for that.
Yeah. So we're going to have our interview now.
결국 4강 진출팀은 바로 FXOpen이 됐는데요. 오늘의 MVP 만나봐야겠죠. 오늘의 MVP는요, 바로 이동영 선수입니다. 축하드려요.
Surprise, surprise. Linux. Who would have thought?
MVP.
Alright, let's see what Linux has to say. Coming back from MLG, taking second place, being really, really important to his team today. Taking out 4 of the Prime players, 3 Terrans. He didn't really expect his team to be down so much. He was very surprised that they were down 3-0. He thinks that Tia did a really, really important job today, defeating Creator that helped his team and that helped him.
이렇게 잘하는 뭐 특별한 이유가 있나요?
일단 저는 그냥 특별한 이유라기보다는 그냥 평소에 연습을 좀 많이 하는 편이거든요. 그래서 연습을 많이 하고 좀 상대를 분석해서 하는 스타일이어서 좀 더 잘 이기지 않나.
He thinks the reason why he's so good right now is that he's practicing a lot. He studies his opponent very much, prepares for the matches, prepares for the games. And he thinks that's his strength in the GSTL, especially.
스타터 콘트를 이기고 또 그다음에 결승 갈 자신이 당연히 있으시겠죠?
스타테일 정말 강팀이긴 하지만 그래도 우리 팀 지난 시즌 우승팀이거든요. 그래서
Startail, the next opponent, is a really strong team. They're going to meet them in the semifinals.
좋을 것 같아서 갈 수 있을 것 같아요.
네, 제가 4강
FXO are the defending champions, so they want to be in the finals. He thinks that they have to be in the finals to defend their title, and he thinks that they actually have a really good chance of defeating Startail.
And of course, welcome to Shoya here, the coach of
너무 축하드린데요. 기분 좋으실 것 같아요. 좋으신가요?
네,
asking about his mood, matches.
솔직히 0대 3이었나?
Actually, having Shoya next to Jessica just reminds me how small she is. He's not that tall, guys.
선수가 좀 못해줘가지고 경기력이 안
He always feels good to win, but he was a little bit upset when they were down 3-0.
그래서 기분이 안 좋았는데 딱 이제
It reminded him of being knocked out in the previous season when they weren't able to go to Las Vegas. They lost in the round of 4, and it reminds him of that. He has similar mood now to that time. He trusted in Tier to win at least one match, and that's what happened. So Linux was able to clean up and do the rest.
솔직히 제가 팀 내에서 경기를 그렇게 좋은 편이 아니라 팀원들도 그렇고 코치들도 그렇고 제가 나가면 좀 많이 불안한 것도 있고 해서
네.
제가 괜히 또 나간다고 하면 욕심 부리는 것 같아서 제가 이번 GST에 또 안 나갈 생각이에요 이제.
I'm not really a good performer for our team.
누가 안 좋아해요, 감독님을?
네, 감독이
And
욕심
players
부린다고
and coaches don't really like when I go out to play in the GSTL. So I'm not really planning on going out for the rest of the season.
GST에 나갈 일은 아마 없을 거예요.
그렇군요. 이제 볼 수 없는 건가요, 그러면?
이번 시즌은
Even though I'm the playing coach, I'm not really planning on coming out for the rest of the season.
강팀이잖아요. 또 스타우테일 콘팅에 이승현 선수가 만만치 않은데 이 선수에 대한 뭐 어떻게 대비하실 작정이신가요?
저희가 저번 GST에도 4강이 고비라 생각했어요.
네.
결승전 말고 4강 이기면 우승할 수 있겠다라는 생각을 했는데 이번 시즌 제가 생각할 때
In the
제일
last GSTL, we thought that if we win in the semifinals, we'll be able to win in the finals. And in this season, the semifinals are very important, of course.
스타테일이 참 강한 것 같아요. 그래서
And I think that if we take the semifinals, we'll be able to take the entire thing, just like last season.
연습실에서 잘하는
StarTale has
선수들이
life,
많으니까
but we also have Leon, so it's going to be a great match.
것처럼 저번에 스타테일 이길 때처럼 한 선수만 포텐 터져준다면 이동영 선수가 이승현 선수 잡아주고 하면은 충분히 이길 수
If
있을
one more
것 같아요.
player
오늘
besides
말씀 너무
Leon
잘하시는 것 같아요.
takes one or two
역시
matches
기분
in
좋으니까 말씀도
the
잘하시는데
semifinals,
오늘
he thinks it's going to be an easy win. I mean, if today is any indication, I guess
네,
so.
이 인터뷰 끝나면 선수들이 바로
That's a lot of confidence going up against StarTale. I mean, it's not only about life. They have Squirrel, they have partying. That's like, woo.
하나 주시기로 하셨잖아요.
유니폼은 이미 다
So they're going to hand out the Pepero cookies after this, so stay at the studio. Today is Pepero
자,
Day.
이상형
Well, actually, I think today actually is, but it's actually going to be 2 days from now, so it's the closest they can get to 11/11. Actually, you know, it'd be so funny if we had like a bunch of 2Rax proxies giving out the 11/11 candies. Like, think about that, man.
Just candy in form of barracks.
Yeah, just put the
That would
candies in
actually
the
be
barracks.
funny.
Well, let's take a look at the semifinal schedules. Don't forget about that. That's going to be really epic.
Here it is, November 23rd, this is Friday, and of course on the Saturday we have TSL up against the winner of tomorrow's match between LGIM and MVP. And on the Saturday we have StarTale up against FXOpen, which is already promising to be a really exciting match.
Yeah, that's going to be in 2 weeks from now. Don't miss it. And that pretty much concludes things for today.
Yeah.
You guys saw the schedule, you saw the results behind us. We didn't see them up on screen, but you guys already know what happened. And we're going to be here tomorrow for LGIM against MVP. It should be great.
Yeah, a little bit earlier than usual. As you guys know, on Saturdays we start at 2 actually. So definitely make sure to tune in for LGIM up against MVP. It's going to be a really interesting match, especially with LGIM kind of having to redeem themselves for the all-kill that they suffered at the hand of StarTale. So see you back tomorrow. Hope that you enjoyed the show today. See you soon. Bye-bye.